I mentioned previously in other videos that I'm a big fan of tandem rigs for panfish, for crappie, and other panfish species. And specifically, I've mostly spoken about fishing with a pair of micro jigs, and with one of the main benefits being getting extra casting weight and a little bit better control of the bait because they're using such tiny jigs. And but just doubling it up allows you to still have that tiny offering but have a little bit extra control for working the bait and for casting. I want to show you a little bit different spin on the tandem rig. Again, I'm primarily looking for crappie, but other species are actually part of what makes this a good rig. It's more of a search type of a rig because it gives you more variety. What I have is a Bobby Garland slab hunter, which is a pretty big crappie bait. That's a 2 1/4 inch bait, and the water is stained today, so I've got the pearl white with the chartreuse tail, and it's a fairly bold bait. It's been actually taken that another step because I've got it on the new Garland head turner that has the spinner blades on it, and I feel like that could be a good option for the stained water and the fish starting to move up a little bit. It's still pretty early in the season though, and the water is cold. You never know if they're going to be a little bit fussy, and for that reason, on my second, on the second part of my tandem rig, I've got an itty bit mayfly, which is just a tiny 1 1/4 inch bait, and it's on a 48th ounce head. So when that's coming through the water, I always put my heavier bait in the front, and so if I'm swimming it, it's just going to tail behind it. But when I allow it to swing down, this is going to come through first, and it's going to come wobbling down, going to catch those fish's attention. If it's a bigger bite that they want, sometimes that little bitty bait fluttering down behind them is exactly what it takes to trigger a strike. And I mentioned that that part of the appeal of this more varied tandem rig is other species. I'm primarily looking for crappie, but there's a good chance that there's some bluegill and some other smaller panfish that have moved up along the riprap in some of the areas that I'll be fishing, and this gives me a much better chance of catching them. At the same time, there's a decent chance there's some bass swimming around, so it kind of broadens the prospects, help me to figure out what the fish are biting. If I start catching fish and I'm catching them all on the slab hunter, I probably will remove the tandem rig. I'll probably just fish that alone, just to be a little bit more efficient, less likely to get snags, and just keep it out of that. And if I'm catching everything on the eddy bit, then I'm probably going to tie up a tandem of that and maybe try 2 different colors to sharpen the pattern a little bit. But it's another example where 2 are better than 1, and it's just a little bit different way to fish a tandem rig. Something I'd suggest you give it a try.